Macca's Guides.
Hey guys, Macca here with the Doom 100% walkthrough, showing you all secrets, collectibles, and challenges, everything you need to get 100% completion in Doom, the new Doom, obviously. So in this video, I'll be showing you Mission 8. This is Advanced Research Complex, and we'll be starting off by trying to get all 5 of the Glory Kill specific challenges out of the way. Now, there's one challenge that tells you to get like 5 neck snaps or something, and it tells you to attack their lower left leg or the back of their head. Both of those are wrong. What you want to do is attack its back calf, essentially. That's as well as I can really explain it. You'll see on these dudes exactly where I attack and exactly where I get a little bit of, progress. I try to attack from behind them on their right calf. That'll kick them and then snap their neck. You need to do 5 of these in order to get this challenge out of the way. There's countless enemies to do this on, but I highly recommend that you try to get it out of the way as early as possible. I fucked it up just a little bit there, but anyways, in the room with the control where our objective is, find the Argent Cell. After the Argent Cell, make sure you interact with the control panel in order to open the door. Before going through the door we just opened, we're going to backtrack just a little bit here, and we're going to finish up our, our behind the neck, snap, kick, whatever, glory kills as early as possible. You'll also see me working towards my super shotgun mastery, as well as my regular combat shotgun weapon mod mastery, as well as my 3 runes. So that's what's going to be dictating my specific playstyle for the rest of the mission. As we backtrack, you'll find a small washroom with a vent on the roof. Jump up to that vent from the sinks, follow the vent, and you'll drop down into a locked room that you previously couldn't enter. That room itself is counted as a secret. Upon entering the room, you're also going to want to get the Elite Guard on the ground. And after picking up the Elite Guard, I would recommend that you pick up the Automap on the other side of the room before interacting with the door and exiting, continuing on with the mission. You'll also see me throw random grenades in order to get some grenade progress as well. After that, you'll want to get up into the next room, up the stairs, and on the counter you can find a data log. After picking up this data log, you'll need to kill all of the enemies in the room in order to be able to trigger the door, and that's what you'll want to do. I'm going to take my time doing a specific series of things that will help me with my runes, and be showing off a couple of shotgun kills as well. After clearing out the room, interact with the console to open the door. Inside this next room, there's a nest at the very bottom and a door at the very top. You'll have to clear out the nest and kill all of the enemies in order for the door at the top to open. I highly recommend using your powerful weapons here. If you do have the charge shot upgrade on your shotgun, make sure you kill the big fat dudes with it in order to work towards your weapon mod mastery for that specific part of the shotgun. You'll see me be working on that right now. I do use my plasma rifle as it does a lot of damage and I can stun enemies quite quickly, but you'll see that I do switch to this shotgun to take them out. Again, I'll also be working towards my runes, which are for the most part glory kill specific.
Demonic presence eliminated. Lockdown disengaged.
Upon killing all the enemies, we can make our way to the top of the stairs, interact with the door, and then we'll have a 2 to 3 minute cutscene where it's an interactable cutscene. You can move around and stuff, but more or less you'll be locked in a room for the next 2 or 3 minutes. Just nothing happens there. Just wait it out and then ride the elevator once that's available.
But I didn't think you'd allow its installation voluntarily. I'm Dr. Samuel Hayden. I have supplies in my office. This way, please.
Welcome, Dr. Hayden.
Take whatever supplies you need. The destruction of the Argent Tower is devastating, but I am committed to helping you close the portal. All of our work and understanding of their world is derived from the inscriptions on a large stone artifact we pulled from Hell in the earliest days of the program. We call it the Helix Stone. It is our most closely guarded asset. Olivia was obsessed with it. From it, we learned how to manipulate Hell's energy, bend it to our will, take advantage of their resources. It also led us to you. The Helix Stone showed us how to harness the power of the well. I believe it will show you how to shut it down. For years, Olivia has kept the Helix in her private office in the Lazarus Labs, which is only accessible through a secure elevator from the Advanced Research Complex across the chasm. Your affinity for guns is apparent. I'm confident you'll find something useful there as well. The service elevator is at the end of the hall.
Once he lets you leave the room, take the elevator at the end of the hall. Once you reach the bottom, directly in front of you, as the doors open, you should see a data log. This one's really hard to miss. From then on, proceed to the left and hook around the boxes in order to find an elite guard. Pick up his chip. Proceed through the hall the other direction. You'll notice that I do get an achievement, and that's for killing 100 enemies with explosive barrels. If you've been working towards that, you probably aren't too far from it yourself. Upon entering this room, use the airlock and enter the next area. Once you're in the next area, kill everything. Once you kill everything, there's a lot of steps and a lot of collectibles around this area. We'll be going through them in order. Open up this security fence or whatever it's called, and that'll open up an airlock directly in front of you through the window. Go through that airlock, and on the other side, you'll find a secret room, and inside of that secret, you'll also find your first of 2 rune trials. One of the challenges is for inspecting both of the rune trials, which are part of 100% and all the collectibles, so I'll be showing you them regardless of the challenge. For this one, all you need to do is kill, I think it's a total of 8 enemies with the heavy machine gun. I think it's actually 15, let me take that back. And once you kill an enemy, you can move for 3 seconds, but after that 3 seconds is up, you cannot move. So essentially it just comes down to whether or not you can kill enemies quickly and not get stuck flat-footed for too long. Glory kills are allowed, although heavy machine gun, heavy assault rifle weapon mods will not be available to you. Upon exiting the rune trial, make sure you cycle the airlock to go back outside. I'm going to be showing you like 4 secrets and collectibles here in the next area. Jump across to the Spire. What we'll do is then jump across yet again. Jump across to get to this highest platform. Once you're on the highest platform, you should notice there's a armor pickup there. That's not part of anything, it's just there. From there, we can jump across to the other spire and then jump across into this window with a green and yellow painted wall, and we'll have to double jump in there. That's a secret, and there's a pickup in there that doesn't count towards anything. Jump back to the spire we came from and jump the other direction quite low, landing on a pipe. Follow the pipe to the end, find a secret, and inside of that secret room you can find an Argent Cell. I'm going to be maxing out my health and then maxing out my armor eventually near the end of the game. From here, you'll want to equip to whatever you feel comfortable with and then jump back to those 2 middle spires. Or directly jump across instead and follow the pipeline and the platforms. Jumping up here, there's these 2 pipes that run into a little hole. If you jump up into that hole, it's a secret area, as well as a collectible. To actually get the secret area itself, you have to go really deep in the hole, so it'll almost seem like the collectible is the secret, although they count as 2 different things. From here, you're going to want to jump back into the spire and go to the very top, highest point of this first spire. You'll basically be jumping back to where that previous collectible was, but aiming just a little bit to the right of where those pipes are, landing on this small platform. Pull the lever in order to open up the secret room. And then you'll want to jump back into the area we previously came from. This jump's a little bit tricky. Make sure you don't land on the corner, but instead land on one of the flat sides. From the top of the spire, jump back into the section we came from. Across from this entrance, you can find the newly opened Doom Classic door. Just enter and then exit in order to get the secret. We can now proceed with our objective by going through the airlock door, which cycles. Make sure you don't fall because it kind of screws up a little bit of your progress if you fall in this area. So just make sure you take it easy, take it slow. And for that airlock, it does open and close based on a timer. So just take your time to make sure you can make it in. Once you make it inside and jump to the top of the first ventilation system marked by all the ones on the side of the walls, get into the hallway and follow the hall to the other side to the second vent system. Kill any enemies along the way if you so desire. What you'll want to do is when you reach the second vent, make sure the ventilation is turned off so there's no airflow. Once you do that, jump into the vent, find the hole in the floor, and jump down to the very bottom. From there, you can find a hole in the side, jump through that. That is a secret area, and inside there is a field drone. Feel free to equip it wherever you like. From that field drone, we'll want to turn on the ventilation and then get to the very top of one of the two vents and follow the hallways to our objective. As we reach our objective, which is that door in front of us, make sure we quickly poke into this side room, which is a secret, and inside of that room we can also find an elite guard. After finding that elite guard, proceed through the door that was at the end of the hall and kill everything until the doors become unlocked.
Demonic presence at unsafe levels. Lockdown.
Once you kill everything and the doors become unlocked, we'll basically be making our way around the area in a circle, starting from the entrance and going to the right, going counterclockwise. Inside of the server room, find a data log. Then you'll want to leave the server room and continue on to the right, going counterclockwise, and go into the prototype lab 001. After killing a couple of the enemies, we can find a secret area by jumping on the vent in the middle and aiming for one of the vents on the side of the roof. Follow along. For some reason, this one took me a very long time to trigger. You can see me running over and not getting the pickup for some reason. But eventually, I found the secret, and inside of that secret area is the collectible. Now I'll want to jump back down and circle around the room to find on the opposite side in prototype lab number 2, there's a security guard where we could pick up his upper torso. Actually, he's in the security room, rather. After we pick him up in the security room, continue along the circle and go to prototype lab 2, which is a mirror image of that previous proto lab, and in the back of the room, pick up the data log. From here, we can take his upper torso to the command center and scan his eye in order to gain access to this large room in front of us with a weapon in the middle. Now, this next section is a little bit of a puzzle. I'm just going to backtrack just a little bit here to get a little bit of ammo. But essentially, you run in, jump on top, and then jump on one of these green platforms and wait for the laser system to come down.
Personnel confirmed. Expulsion to commence in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Once the laser system arms itself, just shoot out 5 of the 8 laser holder things, and the laser system will fall down directly onto the BFG. From here, carefully jump onto this platform and carefully slide off to pick up the BFG. If you don't, you'll fall to your death and have to redo that section. From here on out, there is a little bit of a mandatory cinematic.
All personnel, please proceed to the hazardous area. Not yet. All personnel, please proceed to the Lazarus.
After killing all the enemies in the red smoked room and interacting with the console, it'll open up a door directly in front of you for you to proceed with your objective. But before that, make sure you turn to the right and go to the testing chambers. Inside of this small room, you should see a small vent. Crawl through, and that's a secret area. In this secret area, we can also find rune trial number 2 of 2. To do this rune trial, all you have to do is get, I believe, 8 glory kills using the pistol. Now, the pistol can actually disintegrate enemies pretty decently if you're good with it. What I recommend doing is putting like 1 or 2 shots on them and then just meleeing them until they go into glory state and then getting the glory kill. Again, you can just continually melee them if that's something you're comfortable with, and you should have no problem with this. From here on out, we can continue to the end of the mission, having all 100% of the secrets, collectibles, and challenges already done. So what you'll want to do is make sure you take care of all of these enemies rapidly. For these first 2 dudes that spawn, I actually recommend for this crowd to use your super shotgun if you do have the weapon mod that you're earning the mastery on. Here's a really good room to get like 8 of the 30 you need for the progress towards that mastery. After these huge pinky dudes rush you, feel free to use a BFG blast on them, and then continue into this next room, interacting with the nest upstairs, and then killing absolutely everything. After you kill everything, it'll actually spawn another wave of enemies, which you'll have to kill again, which consists of 2 Baron of Hell enemies, which are those two huge red dudes with the gigantic goat horns on them. In the room, you'll also notice that there is a quad damage. I recommend you actually don't pick it up until much later on in the wave when the enemies become significantly harder. If you use it right away, you end up wasting it because there's only really 2 revenants in the room, whereas later on you have like 4 or 5 mancubus as well as a spawner, and the Baron of Hells come up. So there's a lot harder enemies later on, so I recommend you save that quad damage for later. Feel free to work on whatever rune kills you have left. Feel free to also work on whatever it is you need for weapon masteries, for weapon mods, and just continue on to the very end of the level by interacting with the elevator button to end it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully this video was helpful. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Special thanks goes to Hayden Giggles as well as Cupcake84 for supporting the show on Patreon. And hopefully I see you guys next time. Peace.
Demonic presence eliminated. Lockdown disengaged. Alert. Lazarus service elevator now arriving. Demonic presence at unsafe levels. Lockdown in effect. Demonic presence eliminated. Lockdown disengaged.